What up, though? Welcome back to Landon on Mars podcast, the dopest podcast in the galaxy. I am your host, Nestor the Spitter, aka Nestor on Mars, aka you can call me whatever you want to call me, but you can't call me broken, you can't call me lazy. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, episode 13. All I could say at this particular point is that I am very blessed. I am very blessed to be in the position that I'm in, and I'm very blessed to be chasing the things that I'm chasing for myself and for my future, man. Like this past Monday, I celebrated my birthday, my 36th birthday, and it was a blessing, man. This past weekend, my fiance got me some tickets for the Cowboys game versus the Panthers, and of course, the Cowboys won. We got that W, so ultimately all of that, but not just even that, like not even the material thing, like not even going to the game, just being able to spend time with my fiance, spend time with the family, and being able just to have a good birthday weekend on to my birthday day. Yo, man, it was a blessing. Thank you for everybody who showed up. Thank you for everybody who showed me love on my birthday. And all I could sit here and say, like I said, man, I'm blessed to be here, being seeing another beautiful year. Being able to be 36. Um, now today's Friday, so this will be dropping on Sunday. Landing on Mars Sunday. Hope everybody out there is doing wonderful. Hope everybody out there is doing fine. But I'm pretty sure y'all noticed it because I noticed it. Pretty much everybody noticed it, and on Monday everybody experienced the Facebook blackout where Facebook was down for, they said, 6 hours. I didn't pay attention. I didn't pay attention to if it was that long that it was actually out. I remember on the way back, my fiance, right before we left the hotel, my fiance posted some stuff on Facebook. So when on the way back, when it wasn't refreshing, that's when I kind of noticed. And then Instagram was doing the same thing. So ultimately, Facebook owns Instagram. So what goes on with Instagram goes on with Facebook, vice versa. So I guess with that, what I'm saying, why I'm bringing this up is because, like, I guess us as people, and I'm a person that is guilty. Like, you never know how much you're on social media until something like that happens. And the only ones that were really thriving, I think, was TikTok, Twitter, and I think those were the only two. Everything else was pretty much shut down. And I remember that one time was where Snapchat was down. Everything else was thriving. Everything else was working. Everything else was on point. And what I mean, and when I say that, is because, like, that plays a big role in our day to day life. Like, you want to kind of see what's going on. Facebook is a platform to be connected with people that you don't see on a day to day, people that you might have known from back in the day, from school, college, wherever, and you still kind of keep a insight of what they're doing. And when you think about it, everybody's Facebook, everybody's Instagram, that's your story. That's your reality right there. That's what you present to the world, what you put out there. You put it out there through those social media sites. So everybody that has it has their own little story and what they're doing on there, like what they want to show, what they're promoting, what they're putting out. And it's a tool for everybody to be connected, and it's a good tool. It's a positive tool, but with good comes bad. So the way you could use that for good, you could also use it for bad, because I don't know, I've been hacked. Somebody made an account on IG with my picture saying it was me, and I had people messaging me and like, "Hey man, is this you?" And I'm like, "No." And then my brother, he got hacked as well. I think he got hacked, or he's trying to prevent getting hacked. So he switched over from Facebook. Now he's on another social media site. And other people as well. Like, I was getting messages this past week like, "Hey, look what I found." And it's like, and then you go to Facebook and people are like, "That's not me. Don't open it. Don't hit the link." So it's like, it is good because you could promote what you're doing. You could show your family, and you could do a lot more with it than what it is. But of course, like I said, with the good comes the bad, and there's people out there that are paying attention to people's day to day. They're paying attention to where someone is eating, and they're paying attention to what this person is doing and where they're at. And without even thinking about it, we as people, if someone were to say, "Hey, where do you live?" We're not quick to say it, but if a social media site asks us like put your address in, what's the first thing you're gonna do? You're gonna put your address in, because if you don't put your address in, or whatever the case may be, you can't go on to the next page or whatnot. So even without thinking about it, we release information that we don't even know about, that we're not even putting two and two together. We're just putting it out there. And us as people, what it does, we're vulnerable to likes, we're vulnerable to follows. We want all this because nowadays that's what it is. That's what people are thriving for. People are thriving for for likes. People are thriving to see how many people could be on their stuff, see how many people could share this, see how many people could share that. And me, I'm the type of person, like, I am blessed when I post something on social media. If it gets likes, cool. If it doesn't, cool. A lot of my family stuff, it gets likes. Things with my fiance, they get likes. Things for me personally, my podcast, my music, a lot of things like that don't get liked. And which is, to me, it's cool. Like, I'm not going to be a victim to social media, to where I'm just like, oh man, why is this not happening? Why is that not happening? Because, of course, man, like I said, if you let social media get the best of you, social media will get the best of you. And you never know how much you're using social media until there is a blackout, like there was on Monday, October 4th. And even people, like the way it was, like when people survived the storm of what 2020, people are like, I survived the blackout of Facebook October 4th, 2021, so it was something that people really noticed. And it's weird. It's so like it's weird. I say weird because, like, what you go through, what we go through as everyday people, you look at the celebrity tip and they're going through the same thing as well. So it's like, now it's one of those things where it's like, back when before social media, you never knew how celebrities and how reality stars are just like athletes. You never knew what they were doing. You never knew what they were living on their day to day. But now with social media, you get the inside of that. That's why I say the way an athlete, a football player, a basketball player, a boxer, the way they have a social media that everybody follows, it's the same thing for everybody else in there. It's the same thing. It's just the fact of what you're gonna do to make your page, your Instagram page, your Facebook page, what you're gonna do to make that pop. And you could do stupid stuff, because a lot of people do get famous off stupid stuff. Like, if you look at TikTok, people think being TikTok famous is a thing, and I guess it is a thing, but how long is that thing gonna extend? Like, I see couples on on TikTok always like either putting each other down, making themselves mad, and it's like, is this really worth the entertainment? Is this really worth? And I ask myself that, because I would never put my fiance in a situation like that, to where I'm making fun of her and letting the people judge that and letting the people get an insight of that. It's like, how, like, why? And one thing about social media is, I don't know if y'all ever heard this, and I don't know if y'all, like, I don't know if and I'm gonna word it as best as I can, but I remember I don't know if it was a story or if it was like a documentary, but social media, they use the slot machine effect. And it's like, when you're in Vegas, there's gamblers that will stay at a slot machine for hours, that are just going. But if you're gambling, you could get all the alcohol you want. You get things for continuing to gamble. And you could ultimately walk away from a slot machine. But with social media, you can't walk away with your phone. It's going to be very rare if there's five people and if only two people have a phone. Like, 100% of the time, five people out of five people are going to have their phone on them. And maybe one might not be looking at their phone. But what they're going to do is they're going to look up and they're going to see everybody around them is looking at their phone. So they're going to go look at their phone. So ultimately, what we're doing, we are walking around with a slot machine, a slot machine in our pockets that we get access to internet wherever we're at, because everywhere now we got 5G, and that's making things. You hit it, you hit your screen, and it loads up. So it's ultimately a faster processor. So, at least in Vegas, you could walk away from a slot machine. From you could walk away from that. But with the phone, you can't. Like I said, not everybody is willing to leave their phone at home. Like me, my phone, like I'm the type of person when I get a new phone, I let my phone die completely, because what it is you have a battery memory. So every time you charge your phone, your battery has a memory. So and let's say you charge your phone at 50% every time. As soon as your phone hits 50%, it's going to start dying even quicker, because it already knows when it gets to 50%, it gets a charge. So me, I get a phone, I let it die. Charge it to 100%, let it die. Charge it to 100%, let it die. I try never to charge it in between. I always try to keep everything charged at 100%. I do the same thing with my MacBook. I do the same thing with my Apple Watch. I do the same thing with all my devices. It has a memory. So I don't mind what I'm saying. When I say that I don't mind letting my phone die. But there's a lot of people out there that don't want their phone to die. Now you have a battery charger that's portable that you could literally walk around with, and your phone's never gonna die, because you're gonna always you have your battery charger, so you're gonna be fine. You know what I mean? And I say all of this to say is, like, you never know how much social media plays a role in your life, and ultimately, if you never seen The Social Networking, if you've never seen that movie, I suggest you go check it out. It's about how Facebook was created. It's about how Mark Zuckerberg actually really put some. I think I'm saying his name right. I really hope I'm saying his name right. But it's about how he ultimately put this together. Everything is based off code. When you hear coding, and coding is very important when they're hiring coders, when they're willing to train coders, that's a good thing, because that's the behind the scenes of a website. If you want if you're building a website, and you want people to be able to like something, that's a code. If you're building a website and you want people to be able to sign up, that's a code that you have to input. And ultimately, he was he ended up making uh he ended up making a page for I forgot. I'm not exactly too sure what college he went to. I'm not gonna get into all that, but ultimately he was in college. A girl pretty much put him down, and to make himself feel better, he pretty much put it was a like you a choose A, choose B, and that's what it was for, like, the females in that specific college. So he built that website, and when he built that, there was some brothers that came to him and asked him to help them with their code, because they were the ones that ultimately had the idea of Facebook. And what he did is he pretty much kind of just kept it to himself. He put it together, but he kept it to himself, and he didn't put it out. He didn't give it back. And of course, if you look at the movie, he went through so many lawsuits, and he's probably paid over maybe about $1 billion just in lawsuits, because that's how successful this is. This started with the college. This was the beginning of social media. Yes, I'm pretty sure people are familiar with MySpace, and MySpace was cool because you could decorate that you could decorate your page into your like how you wanted to decorate it. You know what I mean? You could customize your page. With Facebook, is just straight up. You can't really do much to it. I remember with MySpace, you used to be able to have a song and shit. Like, a song used to come out on your profile, but this was the beginning of social media. And sure enough, he perfected it. Like, MySpace probably had some worms in it. It probably wasn't the best way. It probably wasn't the best way. And you know what he did is he perfected it. He brought it to the world in an aspect where people are going to understand it. And it's not like, like on a basic with something that you might not know about somebody. You could easily go on their Facebook and you'll find out, like, if someone's in a relationship, if someone, what their interest is, where they went to school at, who their parents are. All of this is information that people release on Facebook without even thinking about it, because it's a connector. The more people that you connect with, the more people are going to come. They're going to be coming through your algorithm. They're going to be popping up on their algorithm. The same things that they might like pop up on your algorithm. So ultimately, what he did was he perfected it. He perfected it. And he did all of this with the mindset of getting somebody back. He didn't do all of this because he felt it was something that people are gonna people are gonna actually benefit off. It is something that people can benefit off, because if you have a small business, if you have a big business, you make a Facebook page, you see what people want, and you see what the demand is for what you're trying to put out there for your specific business, or whether you're power washing, like porches, whether you're doing lawns, whether you're selling cupcakes. You could make a page, and now people just come straight to you. So this man perfected it. Yes, he is a genius. He's a genius beyond a genius. But this is the type of person that he could make the mistake, but he will make you think you made the mistake. He's a manipulated type of person. And so what I say that is, like, I'm not here to judge nobody, but this is who we trust our information with. This is who we're giving all of our information to. And then he bought Instagram. So you have Instagram, you have Facebook. Everything that Facebook could do, Instagram could do. Everything Instagram could do, Facebook could do. And of course, you have your TikToks, you have your Twitters, you have other things. And then I know they're really trying to do Clubhouse, I think it is, where people just kind of like communicate with each other. But ultimately, man, when I say this, when I say what I say, I'm not saying to judge anybody. You know what? I'm very grateful for things of that nature, because, like I said, people like my brother being overseas, he'll probably check in with Facebook to let everybody know he's good, because he doesn't have the time to call everybody individually. And I would think he would call his wife, his kids, making sure that they're okay before he says, okay, let me call everybody else. You know what? We deserve, like, we don't deserve nothing, but he might go to Facebook and be like, hey, you know what? I'm good. Hope everybody out there's having fun. So it is a good thing. It is a good communication tool. But like I said, man, with good comes bad. People always wanna just show what they're living, how they're living, where they're living, but no one ever wants to show the struggle of how to get to that. And I remember back in the day, I remember a lot of people would go on Facebook and just talk shit about either their boyfriend, their girlfriend, about their family members, about this. And I'm like, man, like, why would people put that out? But you know what? That's another side of social media. You got the good side where you're showing everything you're doing, where everybody wants to be involved. Then you got the bad stuff where people could see it as well, because there's a good and there's a bad. It's just a matter of what face you're willing to show to the world. And like I said, when you have this platform is yours. Don't let people tell you what you could post. You know what I mean? And like I said, like, people always have an opinion, but nowadays opinions are what getting people fired. Opinions is what's getting people thrown in the mix that they don't even want to be in. So, like, yes, it is smart to think about what you're going to put out on social media, because you don't want the friction to come back. Like, people are so drunk with wanting to go viral and wanting to show this, wanting to show that, but what does that consequence come with? You know what I mean? Like, what does that come with? Like, it was funny. There's a song with Baby King, and I don't know if it's Treadmill or if it's Family Ties, but there's a line where he says, What's the pros and the cons of this next check?" Like, everything's gonna come with the good, everything's gonna come with the bad. And like, one thing about it is, like, we can't be vulnerable to Facebook. We can't, like, we are, but it's like, people will sit in a room, and like, if you sit back and if you look at the behind the scenes of what people do for these videos, sometimes it takes people hours to get a 30-second video, or maybe even a minute video. It takes people hours to do that. And it's like if you have the time to do that, you know what, cool. But if you got 1,000 likes, you're gonna want 1,001 likes on the next one. If you got 1,500 likes, you're gonna want 2,000 likes on the next one. So ultimately, the one thing that I do respect it is that your competition is yourself. Like, and if you keep that mindset to where like you're gonna do it for yourself, then hey man, don't get lost in the sauce. Like there's times where I was like when I was at that Cowboys game, I thought I was the only person that would look at my phone and seeing what's going on social media. I'm looking down and there's people in front of us. There's two girls that are just looking at their phones and seeing what's going on with social media. And I looked at that and I was like, damn, like I thought I was the only one. So if I'm doing it, I know there's a bunch of people doing it. And when I say that, man, it's like I say that to say is like there's times that I know that I need to put my phone down. There's times that I'm home, I'm right next to my fiance, and you know what? I need to put my phone down. I got 3 dogs. And yes, they're chill, they're laid back, but you know what? I'm gonna give them my attention when they need my attention or when they want my attention. Like we spend so much money on these devices. We invest so much money and they could do so much shit. I took a picture with my phone and I took a picture on like a 8 and you could see the quality when it comes to just pictures alone. And nowadays everybody wants to capture that moment. So yes, you're gonna have people going and buying these $1,000 products. You're gonna have people wanting to be in the loop of what's going on. The only reason why I like the new 13 iPhone is because it has 1 terabyte of memory. That's a lot of memory right there. And me, I'm a music head, so I always have music in my library. So I'm always getting new music, getting old music. Just recently switched from Tidal to Apple. I've done it before. I had Apple. Once I canceled my subscription with them, all my music went. I've been linked up. I was linked up with Tidal when Lemonade dropped. I felt it was the right thing to do. I was a Jay-Z fan. I was for what he was doing. But what did he do? He ended up selling it. And ever since he sold it, in my opinion, I feel the quality has gone down. So you know what? I went back to Apple and I'm in the process of starting my new playlist. I'm in the process of getting all my music back to what I had. Maybe not the same exact same, but being able to get the music that I want to hear when I'm doing what I do. And I like I said, man, I say all of this to say is like don't be a victim. Don't let this get the best of you. Um, they've tried making an Instagram for kids. They tried doing things for kids as far as a TikTok that could be strictly for kids. But man, a lot of this stuff is like a lot of this stuff is not even safe for us. Like supposedly the reason why Facebook was down because there was a whistleblower that came out saying that the same way tobacco affects people, that's the same thing. That's the same way Facebook and Instagram and social media is affecting people. And it's like everything back. Like I always to tell people, like you can't believe something unless it's on Facebook. When it's on Facebook, it's real. But of course, I was over exaggerating. But that's what it was. Like if people did not see it on Facebook, people did not think it was legit. People did not think that hey, this is what it is. And like I said, man, like ultimately my thing, Landing on Mars podcast, I try to bring y'all some knowledge, man. I try to bring y'all some things some topics that are gonna make you think. And I'm not saying put your phone down because nowadays a phone is a necessity. A phone is something you need, but you don't need to be in front of it all the time, man. Remember that the grass is green. Remember that you have family that love you and that want to spend time with you. Like it's crazy. Like you'll be like it's happened to me. Like I'll go chill with the fam and everybody's on the phone. It's like, but we can't put the phone down and just talk side by side. Like it's a connection, and of course, what phones could do, we can't do in reality. So sometimes it's good to have your phone. Sometimes it's good to not have your phone. But man, just always try to have a balance for yourself. Like just try to balance it out, man. It's just like a relationship. You got to be able to have balance in your relationship. You got to be able to, you know what I mean, know when to turn it off. Like you could hustle all day, but sometimes you got to turn that hustle thing off so you could be able to chill. You could be able to relax, man. And don't let don't let social media get the best of you. Don't let, and like a lot of people say, man, social media is a bunch of smoke and mirrors. Like people are gonna show you the good versus the bad. You know, people like you're gonna have a female show you her skinny stomach, but she's not gonna show you how many times she went to the doctor to go pump all that fat out. You dig? So don't think a lot of. And it was funny. Like there was this one guy I saw him on. I think it was on TikTok. And you know, I got a TikTok. You know, the only thing I don't have right now, I think, is is Twitter, and that's just because I haven't downloaded it. Like, but I do have Snapchat, I do have Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and a lot of this is what I like. A lot of it, I have celebrities that I follow that I like. Someone that follows me, I'm gonna follow back. I always appreciate that. But a lot of it, like when it comes to Instagram, when it comes to Facebook, I always draw a balance because I don't want to have people on Facebook that I have on Instagram and so forth. You know, but a lot of stuff that I do is a lot of promotion. You know, I put like when it comes to TikTok, it's all about pretty much all about my podcast. You know, and like Instagram as well. Sometimes what I put on Instagram, I won't put on Facebook, you know, but because for the most part, Facebook is a bunch of family. It's a bunch of family, friends. So, you know, I never like to flood people's timelines with people things that they might not care about. And that's just how I feel. But there was this one guy that was like, he was talking about, I think it was one of the Kardashians, I think it was Chloe, where there was like a clip of her saying like, oh, like I can't stand girls that get depressed and eat a bucket of ice cream, and then it paused and went to him, and he's like, first of all, you did not work for that. Like, you didn't go to the gym, you didn't do this, you pumped out your fat and put in your butt, just pretty much like the way your sister did. And it was like kind of made some sense because that's probably what she did, you know. But a lot of times people are going to show you the finish line before they show you the work it took to get to that finish line. So no matter what people are doing on IG, on FB, on SN, you know what I mean? On TW, you know what I mean? It doesn't matter what anybody's doing on there. What matters is what you're doing for yourself and what energy you want to put into the world. Because if something were to happen to you, they're gonna go look at you. They're gonna go look at your social media. They're gonna go judge your social media, and that's gonna determine if you were a good or a bad person. You know, the universe is very big. The galaxy is even huger. You know what I mean? We live to the point where it's like, man, we don't know exactly what's out there, but whatever's out there, you at least want people to know if the world could be judged by one individual and they happen to look at your account, are people going to want to come this way, or are people going to want to just run from this? And what you put out into the world is what's going to come back to you. If you want to be respected, you show respect. You don't fight for it. You don't beg for it. You don't let people get the best of you because they want to feel a particular way. You know what? F that. How people feel. F what anybody says about you. Because when you start going off of what people are saying, now you're living for them. You're not living for yourself. And you can never live for anybody else because 9 out of 10 times ain't nobody gonna live for you because your battles and your struggles and what you go through are not somebody else's battles and somebody else's struggles. Yes, people want to people and it's funny, like people want to be hurt. People are hurt. People lose dogs, people lose family members, and what do? They go to social media. So social media could be like, "Oh, you're going to be okay. You're going to get through it." Social media don't care for you. I'm sorry. You're vulnerable to the wrong people. You're vulnerable to a society that is going to judge you. You know, like, social media is not your friend. Like I said, it is. It can be. It can be. But don't think social media is going to come and agree with you and come have your back if you ended up doing something that you should have not did, you know? And like I said, man, you got to be able to live for yourself. Always try to find a balance. Let the blackout of October 4th be an example for you. You know what I mean? Live by that. Like however long it took you to figure that out, you know what? do that on a regular basis so you don't have to worry about going back to that. You know, because like I said, man, social media could eat you. It could help you win. It could help you lose. It's a balance, man. Be able to balance this out. Be able to just do it for yourself. Do it for the people around you. You know, like I do what I do. Like I said, man. Like it's taking me some time. Like before I get these interviews, before I do what I do, I'm giving y'all topics, man. I'm not gonna sit here and talk about nonsense. I'm gonna sit here and talk about something that I feel that y'all can learn from. And you know, like I said, this happened just Monday, so it was a coincidence that, hey, you know what, this was my topic for for this particular podcast. But I'm not gonna waste y'all's time by chitter chatting. You know, um, I really appreciate everybody. Thank you everybody that has supported Landon on Mars podcast. Thank you for the likes. If you can like, subscribe, you know, share if you can. I really appreciate everything. Landon on Mars podcast, the dopest podcast in the galaxy. This is your boy Nesto the Spitter, aka Nesto on Mars, aka you can call me whatever you want to call me, but you can't call me broken, you can't call me lazy. Y'all be safe out there. Yalla.